Good evening, and welcome to another Sunday stream here on Icarus Complex, the channel. Good to see everyone. Moni is here. Hi, Moni. Enjoy eating. Princess is here. Araigoma is here. Prismo is here. And Dalek just arrived. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's time to play Zelda. Yay! Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Wow. Anyway, we are continuing with Ocarina of Time today. Last time in Ocarina of Time, we spent what feels like way too long on one dungeon. But it was a good one. It was a good dungeon. So we also did some stuff leading up to it, and did some lore diving, and did some side questing and stuff. So today we are going to do some more progress on dungeons. We are ready to progress right into the Fire Temple as we start the game today. We got the song to get there fast, and we also got the tunic to stay safe in fire, and so on and so forth. So, let's dive into it in a moment once we are done talking. Wonder how. Well, it was just a little, a little fanfare. Prismo says, hope your weekend has been good. Yes, I've had a good weekend. I will say, I decided on Friday that I wanted to I decided like last weekend, pretty much after last weekend. I decided that this weekend would be a more slow paced one. We would do 2 normal sized streams instead of doing the marathon ones. And I really needed that because holy crap. My whole Saturday was just me walking around in a slump. I was so freaking tired. Like I think I took 2 naps or something like that yesterday. So yeah, I really needed to slow down and just take the whole day off and stuff. I rewatched one of my, I wouldn't call it a favorite movie, but I rewatched another movie in one of my favorite movie franchises. I'm a big Alien fan. I like the Alien movies quite a lot, especially the first 2, Alien and Aliens. But I rewatched Prometheus, which is a prequel to Alien. It just arrived on Netflix, and I was like, you know what? Let's watch some Prometheus. That movie is a mess, but it also has some really cool moments as well. And it's really well made. It has some cool tech. The way they made the tech and stuff. It's really cool. But and then I was like, but now I want to watch the other prequel movies, which are, I believe, let me see. There's Alien Covenant, but I think that's not the one after Prometheus, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. List of Alien films. Let's see. So there's okay. So it is Prometheus and then Alien Covenant, and then you have Alien Romulus after that. Chicken is on a 30 stream streak. Welcome in, Chicken, and good job. 30 streams in a row. Whoop whoop. Okay, so I actually thought there was something between Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but apparently not. And then Romulus, which I watched pretty recently, because it's from 2024. I also watched the Alien Earth television series, which was pretty cool. So, yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of Alien movies. Yeah, so I need to watch Alien Covenant again at some point. That one is an even bigger mess as I remember it than Prometheus is. But I still like them. I even like the bad Alien movies. Like Alien 3 is probably my least favorite of them all. It is such a slog. It's really like it's a slow burn. And I don't think the good moments really, the payoffs are not really great in that movie either. So and then I even like Alien Resurrection, the fourth movie, which was what a mess of a movie. But what a fun piece of media, and they just take all the great ideas from Alien and just say, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Doesn't matter if it makes sense. We're just gonna do it, We're just gonna do all the silly ideas, and that's what I like it for. As Princess says, Alien 4 is the best Alien movie ever. Yeah, but of course, nothing beats the first one. But yeah, I've watched Alien 1 and 2 so many times. But yeah, it was good to see Prometheus again. Anyway, that's what my weekend has sort of been. I haven't really done much. I mostly watched some anime. I mostly watched Prometheus. I wanted to play games, but I really didn't have it in me. I think I played an hour per copia, maybe. That's about it. Today was a bit more. I played some other stuff today, but generally, I actually started a new movie today, which I have the rest of it is for like later. GoldenEye. I saw that it's leaving the James Bond GoldenEye, 007 GoldenEye. It's leaving Netflix very soon. I was like, well, you know what? I've actually only ever watched half of that movie, and then I know the rest of it from the game. I played the game way more than I've watched the movie. So I was like, let's actually watch it to the end. But then I've only watched half now, but I'm going to watch the rest of it later or tomorrow. So, yeah. Alagama says, Alien is a go-to movie for me too. It's so atmospheric and gives me some retro vibes. Yeah. Have you played Alien Isolation? Because that game really captures the vibe of the first movie so well. So I can really, that's probably the best Alien game that's been made. I like Alien vs. Predator, the original on the CD-ROM. That one is also really, really good. But I think it's a bit dated now. But nothing beats standing in a dark corridor and hearing the motion tracker go off and see the little dots appear all around you, and you know, okay, now it's about to go down. Anyway, enough Alien talk. We're gonna play Zelda now, and as I said, we're going right into the Fire Temple. So let's get the show on the road. Yeah, I've been in a movie mood this weekend. Not usually it takes a lot for me to watch movies on my own, but oh no, hey, let's go. Like my 3-stream streak. I actually thought you were at a higher streak, but you must have missed the stream last week. Maybe you missed my Euro Truck stream. Yeah, you probably did. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, all right, so here we are in the Temple of Time. And that's where you start as adult Link when you start this. Then we can play a song and we can be delivered straight to the Fire Temple's doors. Up to the Death Mountain crater. Okay. Hey, Peter, welcome in. Water Temple today? Yeah, I think so. Most likely. We're going to Water Temple today. It depends how smoothly Fire Temple goes. Oh, I didn't... Oh, whatever. We did it the safe way then. But yeah. As last time we did Forest Temple, we did the first temple as adult Link, and I gushed about it for an hour and a half or something, like while inside. And I also really I spent half an hour raiding that dungeon because I wanted to be fair in my assessment, but I also really ended up gushing about it. So now we're in the fire temple. I wonder what the Gorons are worshipping. It's a temple, but the water looks more realistic than current games. Hey, Ocarina says I missed the Euro Truck. One thing I had to turn off. Okay, that's a shame. Who's there? Is that you, Link? Oh, it really is, Link. You've grown so big since I last saw you. I want to have a man-to-man talk with you, but now's not the time. Ganondorf's caught in trouble on Death Mountain again. He's revived the evil ancient dragon, Volvagia. On top of that, he's going to feed my people to that evil dragon, as a warning to other races that might resist him. If that fire-breathing dragon escapes from the mountain, all of Hyrule will become a burning wasteland. I'll go on ahead to try and seal up the evil dragon. I'm concerned though, because I don't have the legendary hammer, but I have no choice. Link, I'm asking you to do this as my sworn brother. While I'm trying to deal with the dragon, please save my people. The prisoner's cells are in the opposite direction. I'm counting on you, Link. What score did Forest Temple get? Peter asks. It got a 10 out of 10. It was just what my gut feeling was telling me. And we went through every aspect I rate dungeons on. As I said, like a 10 out of 10 is not necessarily that it gets a perfect score in every department, but it was so high in the departments that it didn't score a perfect score in that. It was just, you know, it's just a no-brainer. Hey, I already freed one. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. In order to get into the room where Darunia went, you have to do something about the pillar stuck in the ceiling. Find a path that leads to a room above the ceiling right away. Okay. That's a good tip. We have a small key now. It means we can go into the other end. But yeah, this pillar needs to go down there. Actually, it's actually pretty fun. Is that pillar broken? Because if it's broken, doesn't that mean that... Yeah, it's a broken pillar. That usually means that it would go down there, but how then do you get to that door? Oh well. Maybe you're not supposed to get to that door. Maybe that's where the dragon was sealed. Yeah, onwards we go. This temple shouldn't be a problem for me. Should be able to remember it pretty well. I've done it a lot in practice runs for speed runs, actually. But it's a pretty straightforward. It's a pretty straightforward dungeon. Don't expect anything less now. Hello. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? Here's a secret for saving me. A wall that you can destroy with the Goron special crop will sound different than a regular wall if you hit it with your sword. And it would be nice then if they had a fake wall in here. I don't think they do. But this is normal. This is the normal sound. Found a small key. Hibbity. Alright, let's let's play the Song of Time here. because we are also collecting golden Skulltulas in this run, just for the fun of it, just to extend things a little bit. I don't know if my goal is to get 50 of them or whatever, but I would say that my goal is probably to try and get as many as we can as we go by them, because I can remember quite a few, you know? So let's see. I'm thinking, can I actually just hit this from here? And then completely forgo this guy. Because, oh wow, he's actually pretty fast. The like. Like, an enemy that eats shields and certain clothes. Beat it quickly to get your gear back. Yeah, that's what it says. If you don't beat it. If you don't beat it quickly, then it's gonna be a problem. Because then it can actually completely... I'm guessing the lore is that it will completely dissolve your gear. Maybe it has an acidic stomach, like, you know, most creatures. But maybe this one has particularly strong acid. That would make sense. That would make sense in my head anyway. I mean, I can walk in the lava for a bit of time. It's not really a big problem. I think there's a key in here that we need. Pretty sure, yeah. Oh. Hello. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. There are switches in this temple that you have to cut to activate. You can also use the Goron special crop to do the job. Oh, they remake this dungeon? Yeah. Again, I don't know how I would feel about... yeah. This is a game where I'm like, do I want a one-to-one remake or do I want them to change things up? But, I mean... it's gonna look pretty fabulous, you know? It's gonna be inside a freaking volcano. So... I'm hoping they turn up the heat as much as they can. Alright, so we got that. Okay, so maybe... can I do this? Yes, I can. We gotta move the big block into the flame. So that we can get up here. Hey, champion. Welcome in. Champion says very seriously that they are going to cut the fire temple. They need the water temple to fill the whole underground of the entire map. What the... oh. But this isn't underground though. I think we're good on, like, we had the keys that we needed. Can't do another 3DS remaster remake. Yeah, but also doing a Final Fantasy VII remake slash Resident Evil 2 remake kind of deal, then I don't know. I mean, it's just, what would they change? How would they change it? I don't know. As long as they don't divide it into several games, I think I'm gonna be okay with that. But I'm so protective of this game. I can feel that it's even worse than with Final Fantasy, because with Final Fantasy VII I was just super hyped, whatever, like for what they did, what they wanted to do and stuff. But for this game I'm more conservative. Yeah, Champion wants Water Temple to be its own game. Because Champion loves that temple so much. That's why he wants that to be the case. But yeah, the fire temple. It's a pretty straightforward deal. I guess the thing I would find a little concerning would be if they try to make this game an open world game like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I think they need to keep the more linear structure to like differentiate it from those games. And I think it would water down some of the best aspects of this game too. Maybe not the villages, but the dungeons are so good. I don't want them to become Divine Beast style dungeons. That would be a big shame, in my opinion. You're releasing me, blah blah blah. He says the same things as us, but he has a new secret for us. When you are on fire, you can put it out by swinging your sword or by rolling forward. Did you know that? Yes. But I think I learned it from you, Mr. Goron. Or maybe I just figured it out. You found a small key. Then the Orison is going to be so big it's going to water down the rest of the game. Oh my god. Haha. Hey Daniel. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Orison was gold. I went from YouTube to Twitch just to write that comment. Thank you. We will get there. We will get there. Most likely today. That's the plan. I need to figure out, because I did hear a spider before. Oh, wait, it's upstairs, isn't it? Or is it here? Is it right here? Or it has to be... Wow. Has to be upstairs. Right? Yeah, okay. Oh, big rock. Imagine if they actually delivered on the vision of an open world with more linear segments, a bit like Elden Ring. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest sort of thing they could change up and make more in line with newer games would be Hyrule Field, right? And how everything connects. Like if they make the map bigger and make it so that, you know, there's a bigger lead up to places like Kakariko Village, and so on. Like maybe that would be the way to do it. Make a bigger sort of hub world, or yeah, I guess you call it that, overworld, and then make everything sort of seamlessly integrate, and then have, you know, the dungeons be like the dungeons in Elden Ring, which are basically linear dungeons but set in an open world. So I mean, that would be a way to do it for sure. On a small key. Releasing blah blah blah. In this temple, there are doors that fall down when you try to open them. When one of these doors starts to fall, move. Use a sample of the Goron special crop. You can break it. What is this Goron special crop? It is, of course, the bomb flower, but we don't have bomb flowers, we have bombs. So that's pretty cool. We got that key we needed. I forgot about that key. Yeah, I hope you're doing better, Daniel. And if not, I hope you have you have managed to find a way to get to not get too bored. So yeah. Okay, we got firewall. I mean, it's always good to have firewall installed, but this is too literal for me. This is literally too literal for me. I guess what I do like about this dungeon is that it feels so tall. Like it feels like a tower that you scale. Quite like that. You found the dungeon map. Hey, let's go. Can I? No. Let's go through here then. I was always terrified of falling down here. I still am during speedruns because this goes all the way down. There we go. It says, I miss it too. It's been killing me that I can't continue playing. Hopefully I'll be back with the subscription. I hope so. I also watched a bit of the playthrough. But it's a game I can only watch a little bit of at a time, because then it's kind of like the same when I play it. I get a little like, okay, that was 3 runs. I need a break now. We have to go this way because we need a key for that door, right? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Also, by the way, Daniel says, amazing podcast. Last episode was dying during the movie review. God. We just, to those that don't know, we in the podcast that I make, we just reviewed the Mario movie. I haven't watched it myself, but my co-hosts had watched it, and oh my God, it was something. It was a debate for sure. So I believe anyway. Wait, there was a spider over here, right? Let's, in case I fall down and stuff, let's take care of this. Because down here there's kind of a shortcut. When you open up this, it opens up 2 gates, and then if we fall down, if we happen to fall down, we can use this shortcut to come go back real quick. So. All right, another key. Are you releasing blah blah? Here's a tip for rescuing. Oh, it's not a secret anymore. It's a tip for rescuing. Somewhere in this temple, you're sure to meet up with some creatures that dance as they attack. Arrows won't hurt them. Looks like you might need some of the Goron special crop. We reviewed the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. Daniel just loves when Peter rants. It's been a while, I feel like, since we had a proper rant like that, and we got it. He delivered. Wait, Amar, oh, of course. Champion's just trying to be funny now, pretending he doesn't know there's a new Mario movie. Okay, so where is that spider? I saw it like before. Oh, great. Okay, we're gonna look for the spider. It's right around the corner. So it must be up on the wall somewhere, right? Okay, let's go back to... I think the safest route would be... No, wait. Yeah, I think the safest and quickest route is to go down here. But yeah, we don't even take fire damage. We just jump down here. And go through here, and then we crawl up again. Because, I mean, we're just going upstairs. There's no reason to go through the firewall room. It takes a while, so. But yeah, it's I haven't watched the movie yet myself. I want to watch it, but I haven't figured out I haven't found a proper avenue. I haven't gotten the proper opportunity yet, but hopefully I will. Hopefully I'll get it. How do you prefer to play Ocarina of Time, Icarus? The speedrun way or the chill way? I think I prefer the chill way. I mean, the speedrun way is very exciting. It's like, you know, it feels extremely cool when you do stuff fast and all those things, but I still think it really... You really take time to appreciate everything a lot better when you're playing through it like this. So... So that spider, I do wonder where it is, because I should be able to hear it here. Is it up here? No, I think I saw it at some point, but then... Oh well. Maybe that's just a dot. Or is it? Is it? Oh, frick. Is it seriously just on a wall here? No, it's not. Okay, well, whatever. Can I bomb my way to it? It wasn't Princess's opinion. Oh! Aha! You heard that noise? There we go. Okay, I didn't remember that at all. It's been so long since I collected all these. I mean, I did do it in randomizers, but... Yeah. But it's also nice to, like, if this remake that is supposedly happening, if it's happening, you know, maybe this is, you know, maybe it's a really good thing to play through the game in a more detailed way, so that I can better see the differences between this and the remake, if it's happening. So. Princess is not a fan of Jack Black and Chris Pratt. Mooney says, "Hey yo, back from Papa Masa beef patty." Oh my god, I am so jealous. I am so jealous, Mooney. Your dad makes the best meat patties in the world, I gotta say. At least the best I've tasted. Alright, so let's see. We're going over here. Now we're done hunting spiders for now. So now we're going over there. Wait. Did I already do this? No. No. I didn't. You think you've learned the ancient secrets at this point? You think so? That's nice. Oh, we didn't talk to this Goron because we changed scene so many times so that he despawned. But that means he's free. He's like, I'm not gonna wait around for Link and give him any tips or secrets. He's taking too long. I'm just gonna go home to Goron City and eat some delicious rocks from the Dongo's cabin. That's pretty much it. Learned enough at least. Well, you know what this means. You know what this means. Next time we have the opportunity, then you're going to have to cook them for me. Oh my god. Hey, Cindy. Alright. Not sure why... Oh, because I missed your entrance the first time. Hello, Sunday. You're calling me old man Zelda complex. That's probably right. Honestly, I swear I didn't ignore you. I was just so, yeah. I was just thinking about Papa Masa's meat patties, which are so great. I think that's what I was doing. Yeah, we've been here for what, 20 minutes? No, 30? No, almost. Yeah, 20 minutes. Hey, Maki. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. You had a good weekend. No, that's not what I said, champion. Well, someone is ready for work again, huh? Someone is ready for a week of streaming and working. If that's your humor. God. Back at 99%. Oh, okay. Are you ever at 100% or is that only on rare occasions? Let's see. So we got something here. We can't do that yet. I don't have any more keys though, but I don't think we need any more. Okay. Meow. Also, I'm out of bombs. But... oh yeah, there's actually a door over there that has the compass, I think. We can go back and get that later. For now, it's time to get through the flaming wall and then the firewall. We're hacking our way in. It's gonna be a crap week. Oh, why is that? If you want to. Ah! I just remembered something. There we go. Back from dinner of frikadelles. Nice. Welcome back. It's time for a mini boss. I'll let you post your but actually I don't know if I'm going to reveal it yet, Daniel, because as you know, if you have watched any of my other streams, I'm rating the dungeons as we go through them, very, very meticulously. But we can already say that one of my favorite dungeons is the Forest Temple. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait with saying the rest of them. Monster laughs like Coco. I don't think he sounds that hoarse. Oh, let's see. Jimmy says the oldest kid is going on a school trip Monday to Friday. I'm going to not have both kids home next week, and that's gonna suck. Aw, yeah, okay. That sucks, but yeah, you'll have to do with your fiance then. Let's see here. We have a firewall up here. Well, we're gonna hack it. First Temple is the highest one rated so far. Yeah. I didn't rate the Deku tree that high, but I think I rated it higher than I thought I would rate it. So. Oh. No, okay. So the fact that you don't have both kids home, but only one of them. Okay. Ah, one kid down. Oh, like that. So if both kids were out, then it would have been even worse. Ah, okay. I see. I see. Just gonna see here. Okay. This is a harrowing run. Especially with, oh crap, this controller, and I was not at a good angle here, so I'm just gonna redo this. This was a really bad angle. It needs to be like here or something. Because if I fall down, I have to go all the way from the beginning of the temple. So. Let's also remember to open this. Da 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 da! You found the Megaton hammer. Press C to smash and break junk. Okay, it's so heavy you need to use 2 hands to swing it. I know my Deku Tree pick is a bit strange. It's because of nostalgia, I think, and that's what's really insane. Yeah, I mean those are some of the things that we really rated highly. Mooney says, remember the first time we traversed this room? So many fuck-ups, including a fall down the center. Yeah, I think that scarred us. It has definitely scarred me for life with this place. I'm always scared of falling down, especially doing speedruns. I think I've only done it one time during a speedrun. Hey Anna, welcome in. We're in the middle of the first dungeon of the day. Well, and not in the middle, we're actually pretty far. Oh, whoa, camera, relax. We're over middle, over halfway. And Mooney says Deku is definitely a strange pick. It's iconic, has a very strong theme, if not difficult, but it's also the first ever 3D Zelda dungeon, so it needed to show players how to work in that space. Yeah, we talked a lot about that. Yeah, this one is going really fast compared to Forest Temple, because this one is it's a lot more linear, this dungeon, than other dungeons. I mean, there is one that is more linear, but this is a very linear dungeon compared to other to Forest Temple we did last time. Mintuk can still watch. He's ahead of me still with like at the moment. I don't remember if he finished the Shadow Temple, but I think he's started the Shadow Temple, but he hasn't done the last. He's not here right now. He hasn't done the desert dungeon yet, so we can't talk about that too much yet, in case he hops in. But yeah. We want to go into that. I mean, if you want to, you can always, discuss it somewhere else than my chat. If you're gonna argue about stuffed chicken and champion. Anyway. And if Darling wants to join, he can join you too, as well. If he wants to join the discussion. Anyway. But yeah, Mintuk is, he has done a water temple, this one fire temple, and then he's done water temple, and then he has done a good part of maybe a small chunk of the one called Shadow Temple. So, but yeah, So he should be fine to watch all day today. Ooh, look at that. Down to that room, huh? Whee! Oh, no damage. He's so dramatic, Link. He's like, ah! And then, oh, it's fine. Dana says, man, I'm scared to think about it. The Ocarina, Dana says, yeah, the Ocarina of Time remake. I'm actually not sure. I hope more than just a simple 3DS port. My biggest wish is that the game keeps its magic. Yeah, that's true. Fire Temple can feel complex when he says with all its big open rooms, but the actual path is very straightforward and simple. I do know that you can easily go in loops if not careful. Yeah, definitely. The first time you do this, it's a bit confusing. It's a bit daunting. And Dottic says, by the way, you're not running the dungeon correctly. I didn't fall down the hole on top. You didn't fall down the hole on top at least 3 times. I don't feel immersed. No, I know. But I was close that one time, right? So, you know. Is it possible for me to... Can I do it from here? Yeah, it's a semi-speed run when you don't fall down the hole in the middle. Hey, there we go. Oh wait, that's not that's not how I thought the camera was aimed. Anyway. Doof. One more. I think we need this key actually. Are you releasing me? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. A door is hidden inside the statue at the entrance to this temple. But the Goron's special crop won't work on it. Don't you have anything stronger? I do. Man, I love this game. So do I. I adore this game. How can they have made such an amazing masterpiece and it still holds up today? When he says the hardest part of keeping the magic of Ocarina of Time is defining what its magic even is, a subjective subject, and as such very difficult to make a particularly good decision about a new version. Yeah, I mean, and that's also the same, like, for me, Breath of the Wild is magical, you know? But for Daniel, it's not magical at all. But then Tears of the Kingdom has a bit more magic. And so on and so forth, right? So, yeah. And then Dalek agrees with Muni. He says just look Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like not everyone agrees what, like, if it kept its magic or not, you know? So many different opinions. I fell down a hole, but I have everything I need. But we're not. We still need the bus key. That's because there's a big lock on this door. But I saw a video about a guy. I saw a video from a guy. He's called Ratatosker on YouTube. He has some very spicy takes on a lot of popular games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Zelda, Monster Hunter, and so on and so forth. And I don't always. I rarely Ratatosker. I rarely agree with the guy, but he has a very good speaking voice. So I keep listening when he talks. He said something very very interesting about the Ocarina of Time remake. He like me, he has sort of he's trying to sort of define what is a remake. You know, there are like different versions of remakes. I use a modular model where I sort of say that games can be, you know, games that there's like you have a scale that goes from one end to the other, whereas, you know, one end is a reimagining and the other end is a remaster, and then you have in the middle you kind of have a remake, and then you sort of move between those things. But he didn't see it quite the same way. He used a different terminology. he said there are 3 types of remakes. There's a remaster, a remake, and a replacement. And he kind of calls Resident Evil 2 a replacement, right? Because it is meant from Capcom's side of things to replace Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil 2, even though you can still play the original. But like from their in their point of view, Resident Evil 2, the remake, is the better version. It is the definitive version of that game, right? As far as I remember, he quoted some interviews. I'm not quite sure where they like the sources and stuff like that. But and then you also have a game like Warcraft 3 Reforged that literally replaces Warcraft 3 with DRM and stuff. So that is a literal replacement. But then you have Final Fantasy VII. He calls that a remake because, in his opinion, a remake is something that remakes the original experience and, of course, also rebuilds it with new code, new assets, all these things. But he doesn't see Final Fantasy VII Remake as a replacement because he kind of thinks that Square Enix wants those 2 games to exist sort of together. You hard disagree with him. Yeah, I know you do, but basically, yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not meant to replace the original Final Fantasy VII. It's meant to complement it in a way. And I can't go into story stuff here because that would be a huge thing. But there are things in the remake games that sort of take this to a new level. But yeah, I just thought it was a very interesting take. I don't necessarily agree with it. I still think my modular scale of remakes is more nuanced. But I had just never seen it that way. But it kind of made me think that I don't necessarily want Ocarina of Time, the remake, to be a replacement. I kind of want it more to be as well like something that, can exist together with the original game. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just an interesting thought. and again, there's a lot of things I haven't taken into this because I don't like. It's been like 2 weeks or a week and a half since I watched the video. I've just been trying to sort of make sense of it in the back of my head and so on. But yeah, so it was just maybe a simplified way of saying it. But anyway, yeah, let's see. Tim wants to play more Resident Evil 2 or original Resident Evil 2, but he's too afraid to play with Mr. X. Final Fantasy VII remake is reimagining. Yeah. Anyway, Peter says, I'm not really following that argument with a replacement. To me, that would be the same as a remake where the original is recreated 1-to-1. The reimagining concept is much better. Yeah, I think reimagining covers it, but I don't think it's a good word. I think I think there's a better word for it, but I think it covers it better. Because I think Resident Evil 2, the remake, is definitely. I mean, you can, if you play it one like side by side with the original, you can see it's not the same game. But I also think when you take a game like Resident Evil 3, the remake is so fundamentally different that it's missing key parts of the original experience, which is again a problem in my book, right? So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. Princess says, I understand where Satoshi comes from, but I do not agree with him at all. I'm more in line with you, Icarus. Okay, yeah. Peter says, Re2 Make is a very bad example of a replacement game. It misses so much stuff from the OG that it can exist on its own. The first remake is actually much closer to the replacement concept. Yeah, maybe I got that wrong actually. When I talked about replacement, maybe he did mean Resident Evil 2 as a. It's because he mentioned the thing about the devs saying that they thought that was the best version of Resident Evil 2, but it does sort of, because you can play the original still, you can even get it on PC now on good old games. It doesn't replace the original, but it still just is such a different game. So it is more of a reimagining. It's more like Final Fantasy 7 actually. Final Fantasy 7 remake and Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Those games are more, they are closer to each other than an actual remake of the games, right? So I think I agree with that pretty definitely. Yeah. This is from me. Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Super Mario All Stars is a replacement for Super Mario Bros. 3 on the NES. I have a hard time enjoying the NES version. Yeah. I think for me there's something like let's take Super Mario Brothers 1 compared to Super Mario Brothers All Stars, Super Mario Brothers 1 in All Stars. I actually dislike the Super Nintendo version because they have fundamentally changed the way mechanics work. The mechanics work differently in the SNES version compared to the NES version, and I've played the NES version so much that I can't play the SNES version. I can play it. It looks better, but I don't think it plays better. I think the NES version plays better, which is interesting. So, yeah. Dalek says Resident Evil 1 remake is closer to concept of a remake, even with the added segments. That's a remade version of the game in a new engine with recoded mechanics. Whereas, actually, when you think about it, I always call Demon Souls a remake, but I think that game is actually closer to a remaster because it is the same code running in the back end, but it's just a different coat of paint on top of it in some ways, I think. And then of course there's online and stuff. That's how I understand it, at least, but I'm not completely sure if that's right. Again, and that is a perfect example of why we need a modular scale. We can't just have three definitive terms for it. We need the terms, but then we need a modular scale between them. All right, I'm going to take Dalek's comments about Resident Evil, and then I'm going to continue with the game. Dalek says Resident Evil 2 Remake is a weaker form of remakes to good, but misses the A and B scenario differentiation. Resident Evil 3 Remake is a demake, in my opinion, in form of it misses too much of the original story and location. That's funny that you use that word for that. Usually I would say a demake is when you take a game and try to port it down to a earlier generation. Like for instance, if you make a Game Boy version of a 3D game or something like that. That's interesting. I see what you mean about it, because it is missing a lot in Resident Evil 3 as far as I know. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'll let you guys continue a bit. I'm just gonna be a little less focused on the discussion and a little more focused on the game, because now we're getting into boss fight territory where we just need the boss key and then we're ready to go. Oh, what? It actually pauses. Oh yeah, that's funny. It actually pauses the game when I when I fire those rocks away. What the hell? But I would actually want to sit down. Maybe I'll do it in a stream at some point. I want to sit down and define that scale. I have done it a few times. I have a picture of it somewhere. But, I would want to go really into it, and then we can really, get nerdy with the whole remake, remaster, reimagining discussion, because I think it's a very interesting thing. And I think, yeah, because there's also the Halo remake. I think it's in Master Chief. No, Anniversary Edition. I think it's a remake of the first Halo game, but a lot of people think that game is worse than original Halo, but you can still switch to the old Halo in that version, which is cool. So you can just ignore the new version and just play the old version. Yeah, I know. Maybe Champion knows about that. Pretty says a remaster to me is simply taking the term as it came from music film. It's a restoration of the original source material. Yeah, that's also how I see a remaster. Yeah. Right. Sorry. I start a discussion and then I kind of bow out midway. That's because I also want to drop this, but I think it's an extremely interesting thing, and that's also why I'm so conflicted as to what do I want from Ocarina of Time. Like, do I want a reimagining? Do I want a remake? What do I want, you know? But I think the terms are... I think it's something gamers struggle with in general, so I think it's very important for us to talk about definitions about when it comes down to remasters and remakes and reimaginings, because again, it's all opinion based right now. It's not it's not like we don't really have a perceived set way of talking about this topic, in my opinion, which is to me very interesting. Oh man, this thing. I don't want to do this, but it also puts you closer, right? So that's so scary. Oh, there we go, it's dead. We get some rupees. There we go. We got another spider. I think we've gotten 3 spiders in here. How many do we have by now? We have 37. Did I go back from my 30? No, I don't think I did. Go back to my 30 reward. But wow, we have 37. They demade Salazar. I don't know. Yeah, again, I wouldn't use it like that, but it's funny. It's funny. It basically made it worse. In your opinion. The voice acting specifically. For Salazar. Mr. Kennedy. Wait, usually it jumps in before that. What the hell? It stayed out for so long. Nope. That's that. Very interesting topic. I'm glad you think so, Daniel. Maybe it's a topic for a video. The quotation marks. I see what you mean. Yeah. Really says, I definitely think Ocarina of Time needs a reimagining. Although its concepts totally holds up, the world/systems need to scale up to modern standards. That is, if it's to find big success outside of nerd circles. Yeah, I mean, but I think my biggest concern with that is that I can't honestly believe in us getting that. Because of, like, again, it depends on the team, of course, but if it's no one else than the Zelda team or like an integral, like a internal team at Nintendo who's doing this remake, Like I can't imagine Tantalus doing something like that. I can only imagine if they are doing the game. I can only imagine a one-to-one remaster remake thing. You know. Got the boss key. Are you releasing me? Oh, oops! I skipped through his message, but he said, "Please help Big Brother," and I will help Big Brother. Don't worry. Big Brother Darunia will get his help. Hey Pixel, what's up? Like the VS version, maybe? Yeah, I think if it's Tantalus doing it, I think it's something like that. On that scale. But if let's say it's Monolith or it's the Zelda team itself, then I can see it being a reimagining. I just don't think Nintendo would let anyone else touch that game in that way, you know? So, Dana says, I have a feeling that the Ocarina of Time remake will probably be one of the most controversial games ever. The fan base will be so split on it. So many people have feelings and nostalgia memories with that game, and rated for many as one of the best games ever created. It will be crazy. And I mean, if you want a preview of how it's gonna go down, just watch what happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake. That one is probably the most divisive Final Fantasy game ever created. All right. Everything Jared Leto touches turns to shit. He made some pretty good music. And I mean, yeah. I think that's about it. But no, I think he also did some somewhat successful movie. Anyway, let's not talk about Jared Leto. Let's talk about the dragon, Volvagia. Look at it. Look at it. This is one of my favorite bosses, probably. One of my favorite bosses. It feels so epic. Just bash it in the face with a hammer and beat it up. There are ways to... Oh yeah, let's actually hear. Volvagia. It's the boss of the Fire Temple, revived by the evil king. I don't know his weak point. Oh, I do. So. You can actually hit it in the air with arrows to do some extra damage. But I've never successfully found a really fast way to kill it in a speed run. So there we go. Don't you remember the first time we went here, Money? It was crazy. This boss was crazy. But okay. Maybe saying it's one of my favorite is probably not right. Maybe that's a hyperbole, but I really find it enjoyable. But there are way better bosses, like the one we did last time, Phantom Ganon. What a crazy boss. There we go. It's so hard to do damage here, but you know, hitting it with the arrow makes it go down pretty fast, like back into its hole. Boom, baby. That's a run. Daniel, okay, you'll catch this on YouTube. Yeah, do that. Thanks for watching and see you soon. I'm glad you're watching on YouTube. That means it's... that's a big win. But there we go. That's Volvagia. The fire dragon. I think it does damage. It's as far as I know, it does damage. It sort of blinks as if it does damage. So, hey, all right. Let's do a quick. Once we got out of the cutscenes, let's do a quick break the dungeon. Oh, that's a new GG emote. Whoa! That guy has some real funky pants, by the way. Like, holy crap. I love his pants. But yeah, thanks for watching, Daniel. And, yeah, I'm glad you came in and said hi. Hope hope everything goes the right way. Alright, the Fire Sage. He's a fashion icon, honestly. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did.
You trashed and crashed that
I
Volvo
thank you.
Kia. Too bad, your assurance company won't be able to cover the repairs. Sad face.
Oh, so when I ignore you calling Volvagia the wrong name, you tend to you go TTS, Dalek. There you go. That's what you get. Don't call it that. It's called Volvagia. God damn it. It's not a car. It's a dragon. All right, I'm doing voice acting here. Oh, I got an idea now. Because usually I'm a little conflicted sometimes whether I should, let TTS keep going while I do voice acting and stuff. But I just remembered I can actually pause cues, so I could maybe just have a button or a command where mods can sort of pause TTS specifically, or pause the cue of the actions from StreamerBot, so that nothing really comes up while I do a specific thing, and then we can activate it afterwards. But yeah, I'll think a little bit more about that, because that would give the mods a bit more of a way to make sure that people don't waste their points, but make sure that things just happen later, like that they get sort of paused and then it comes afterwards. That would be pretty good. I'll think about a system like that. Anyway, let's do the voice acting for Darunia. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate what you did. I thank you on behalf of the entire Gorman race. You turned out to be a real man, just as I thought you would. By the way, I, the wild Darunia, turned out to be the greatest sage of fire. Turned out to be the great sage of fire. Isn't that funny, brother? Well, this must be what they call destiny. Nothing has made me happier than helping you seal the evil here. Hey, brother, take this. This is a medallion that contains the power of the fire spirits and my friendship. Talkman would work. Mods just need to know the content well enough to know. Yeah. But I can also make it a button on my stream deck. So if I know when I do stuff, then I can just push the toggle as well. But again, I'm also working on an idea to give the mods a stream deck, an online stream deck that you can use, that will work in a browser, it'll work in a tablet, it'll work in on a mobile phone, but it's not reliable at the moment, so I'm still trying to see if I can make it work properly. But there's that opportunity that I can bake in certain commands that you guys can activate by the push of a click, a mouse click. And I can choose what to put in the deck. So I can always be like, oh, I don't want Mooney to be able to push the bunk button or that. That's not going to be a bunk button, but you know what I mean. I can give and take power away. Aha. Anyway, let's move on. You receive the Fire Medallion. Darunia awakens as a sage and adds his power to yours. Just like the other ones. Don't forget, now you and I are true brothers. We weren't true. We were just sworn brothers. Now we're true brothers. Oh my god. Okay. You know what time it is. It's time for Raid the Dungeon. I don't know. Right. As you know, when we're playing through all these Zelda games, we're also raiding every dungeon. And I rate them from a very specific list of aspects. And I'm going to go through them, and then we're going to, as always, rate the Fire Temple at the dungeon, which is the Fire Temple. Yes. Goron society is a lot more complex with its relation dynamics than we had previously thought. Yes. There are tiers of brothership. I want brothership, brotherhood, brothership. That's from the Mario and Luigi game. Oh no, that name has snuck its way into my vocabulary. Anyway, what aspects do we rate? We rate, of course, placement in game progression. Where is the dungeon placed in the game, and how is it balanced when taking that into consideration? As central mechanic, what is the central mechanic of the dungeon, and is it bad or good? Is it integrated in a bad or good way? Then there's puzzle complexity. Are the puzzles in the dungeon too easy? Are they too hard? Are they just right? Maybe there are not a lot of puzzles, and maybe there are many puzzles. Those things. Then there's execution requirement. What does the dungeon require of the player to go through? And in this case, how does it?
I can make this very quick. It's 10 out of 10. Very good dungeon, best fire temple in the Zelda area.
No. Spoiler alert, that's probably not going to happen. Execution requirement is like how much skill, what kind of skill does the dungeon ask from you? And then there's pacing. How well is the dungeon paced? Is it too long? Is it too short? Does it have places in the dungeon where it slows down too much or goes, things like that. The level design, how well is the whole dungeon put together? How well does all the rooms fit together? And how is each room designed individually? Then there's a dungeon theme. Is there a strong theming in the dungeon? Does it just feel like a collection of rooms, or does it actually have a strong identity? Does it have a strong sense of place? Then there's music and vibe. How is the music? How is the atmosphere? Do they, do they stand out? Are they a little too anonymous? Or so on and so forth. Dungeon item. How good is the dungeon item we found in the dungeon? How well is it used throughout the dungeon? Is it interesting? All these things. Then there is, of course, the boss. How good is the boss? And that doesn't really take a lot of explanation. It's just, is it a good boss or is it a bad boss? Let's start with placement in game progression. So this dungeon, the Fire Temple, is, again, it's part of we have sort of transitioned into the second part of the game where dungeons are allowed to be more complicated. Where they sort of can ask more of the player. And I think it reflects that, but it is probably not as hard as the previous one, which was the Forest Temple. So it still does keep sort of, it stays over the introduction dungeons. It's a lot harder than the Deku Tree, Jabu Jabu, or Dodongo, right? So I still think it's pretty good there. It's not like top marks, I think, but it's still over average, above average in that department. The central mechanic. What is the central mechanic in this dungeon? There is some stuff about going up and then punching pillars down. That's the whole objective. You have to go up and get this pillar punched down. So going up is kind of the central mechanic to go down, I guess. But it also it kind of is reflected how the dungeon is constantly connected, where you can constantly see down to the lower level, and you can also fall down to the lower level if you're a little uncareful. But it's really hard to say that is, if that is the central mechanic, it's not very strong. So it kind of loses points on that, I think. Then there's the puzzle complexity. How are the puzzles in this dungeon? I think this dungeon isn't really a puzzle-heavy dungeon. The puzzles that are there are more like, how do I use my tools to time things? Like, do I use my bomb to, blow up a crystal so I can go through a firewall? Is there a wall I can bomb with this thing? But it doesn't really have a lot of puzzle complexity, and there's not that many direct puzzles per se. It's more a sort of navigational and execution requirement dungeon. Which brings us to the next point. I think this dungeon, as I said, is a dungeon that requires a lot of execution from the player. It's like, walk this thin path so you don't fall down, because if you do, you get punished hard, right? So it's one where the player really gets asked a lot of, like, there's a lot of action, and the player really has to navigate all that action perfectly. There's a lot of enemies. There's a lot of rocks that are, there's the whole rock maze where the rocks are driving around and you have to dodge them, or else you get completely fucked up. But other than that, again, yeah, it's a very it's very heavy on that department. I think it actually, that's what it does best. That's what Fire Temple does best. It is this series of trials, and they're almost all like, they feel at home in a volcano temple. There are lava things to navigate. There are there's a whole room where you have to find the optimal route around so that you don't have to run on lava all the time. I actually feel like that room should not have it so that you can walk on the lava. It would have been even better if lava would kill you, or like would send you back. If it would function as an actual as an actual punishment for falling down there. I think that would have been much better for that room. Anyway, it also has rolling rocks. That feels like that feels like something that would be at home in a mountain or a volcano. And again, there's a lot of fire things. There's a firewall following you, and there's fire you need to get away to get removed. So in that way, I actually think it's, yeah, I think the execution requirement is, you think it's tough. It's a lot of combo, a lot of hazards. Generally very mobility and technically oriented. Actually, thinking puzzles are really thinking. Exactly, that's what I mean with the puzzle complexity is really, really low in this one. But then the execution requirement is high, but also in a way that's not too hard. It's balanced in a way where it's like, it makes up for the lack of puzzles by giving you a lot of obstacles and trials to overcome that are fire-based and volcano-based. So pretty high score on that aspect. Then there's the pacing of the dungeon. It's felt a bit shorter this time because I know what to do, but there's not that much backtracking. It's a very linear dungeon, but I think it has a good length. It doesn't outstay its welcome. When you're at the top, you have to go down really quickly, of course, but it still feels really good that you can just skip all the obstacles you had to overcome to get to the top of the tower and get the hammer and stuff. Maybe there's some stuff about like the way they teach you to use the hammer at the top that feels okay, but then you have to remember to go and get a key in the top. Like, for instance, if you just blow down. If you just punch down the pillar and just jump down without taking the key that's in the room right next to where you activate the pillar, you have to go all the way up again. Sure, that might not feel as that much, but again, it's a lot of rooms you have to go through. So I mean that can kind of kill your pacing if you don't know what to do there. So, but yeah, I have a lot of familiarity with this one, this temples, and I've run it in speedruns a lot where it's a very straightforward line. So yeah, it's yeah, I think the pacing is okay. The level design is I think it's pretty good. It feels like a tower. They've made a tower that you have to scale so that you can go up and get what you need and do what you need to do. I think it feels like a no, that's not yet. That's in the dungeon theme. I think it's some pretty good level design, but it's not as cool or as well connected as the forest temple was. It's more, this feels more like a series of rooms that they put together, where some of the rooms have some strong thematic, has a strong theme, but I do think a lot of the individual rooms, it wins out on a lot of the individual rooms, where I think, like for instance, the rolling stone room that is super, it's connected in like 2-3 levels. I think that's a really good one. There's the firewall room. You have to run from a firewall and jump some hazards and stuff. That's a cool room. There's the whole room with all the firewalls that come up when you go too close. Then a firewall comes up, and you have to navigate like a maze, and so on and so forth. So it really put you through a lot here, put you through the ringer, and I think each room is strong, but I don't think when you put the rooms together that it has that strong of an identity. Mooney says, level design wise, the punishment for falling at the hammer is a good choice. I hate falling, but it's a good punishment without too much of an actual consequence. It just makes the entire thing feel so big, which it should. Yeah, it feels connected in a way. Dungeon theme is, I think, over average. It's definitely a fire theme. There's fire everywhere in this dungeon. If you were in doubt where you were, like forest temple, you could be like, is this the wind temple? Is this the forest temple? Is this the ghost temple? What's going on here? This is the fire temple, and you are not in doubt at any point in this dungeon where you are and what kind of dungeon it is. Does it feel like an actual temple? I don't know. I feel like it feels more like a training ground for Gorons, where the Gorons have to, do strength training and show that they are true Gorons. They have to, climb stuff. They have to dodge boulders bigger than themselves. They have to find the right way through a fire maze. It feels more like a training temple, like a martial arts temple, than it does a temple of worship. But then again, I will say it kind of feels a bit like a monastery in some ways, because also we know that the Gorons, and this might not have been the idea for the Gorons at this point in Ocarina of Time, but we'll see later on in the timeline series that the Gorons are they do have sort of sumo as their martial arts, sumo wrestling and wrestling in general. So maybe it makes sense for them to have more of a martial arts temple than, and that makes sense now. But anyway, that's just a fun thing, I think, that strengthens the dungeon theme when you think about it, really. Music and vibe, I think the vibe is very intense. It feels like a very hot place. It feels like a very, like, you're in danger all the time kind of place. I think the music is very atmospheric, but it's probably not my favorite track from any of the dungeons. It gets a little repetitive with the and stuff. It's kind of like, okay, but it does make it feel like an intense place. But I wouldn't say it's the best Dusigan vibe. Mentu, welcome in. Thank you for your 3-month sub. Already whacked the dragon. I did. Volvagia is down for the counts. We are raiding the dungeon. We're almost actually through the raiding. The dungeon item is cool. It's the Megaton hammer. I mean, who doesn't like a hammer? What I think it has some nice uses. You can use the hammer to activate the switches. You can use it to turn over some enemies and stuff. You can use it as a weapon, but I don't think it's like it's a very simple thing that has it doesn't have a lot of uses. It has some very specific uses that only that thing can do, but it's not a versatile dungeon item, I think. Maybe you can say it's versatile in combat, but I can still do most of the same things, with the other weapons. So I actually think it's probably not the best dungeon item. It's probably one of the weaker ones in this game, in my opinion. Again, it has a lot of coolness factor from being a fucking hammer that weighs a ton, but I think it kind of, I wouldn't be without it. I think it's an interesting item to include, but I still don't. I wouldn't. Again, I don't think it's that strong compared to other items. So it's probably an average dungeon item, maybe a little bit below average, I would actually say, because of its lack of versatility. Then there's the boss, Volvagia. I mistakenly said while I was fighting it, this is one of my favorite bosses, but I think it's more that it's an iconic boss that you remember. It may not be the most complicated boss and stuff, and there are definitely better bosses, but it's such a, again, thematically strong boss. It's a fire-breathing fire dragon in a freaking volcano, and the only way you can beat this thing is to smash its face with a hammer so that you can get to the weak point below its stone mask. And it feels threatening when it flies around over you and it throws down stones. You didn't see that too much because I struck it with arrows and stuff to make it go down quicker. But it feels, like it makes sense in the world that the fire swirl around the volcano is the same color as the fire hair on Volvagia. So it's a strong boss from I think, thematic point of view, but it's maybe not the most mechanically interesting boss. You can hit it with arrows if you're good. It's very hard to hit it with arrows, Mentu, but it is possible. I think I hit it 3 times in total. Yeah. But yeah, overall, how do I feel about Fire Temple? I think I put it around where I put the Dodongo's Cavern. I think it's a solid 7 out of 10 because it has a strong execution requirement thing. It's well paced. The level design in terms of each room is really well done. The dungeon theme is strong and the boss is cool, right? But maybe, are we actually at a 6? No, I don't know if I think the Dodongo's Cavern. No, maybe I think the Dodongo's Cavern is stronger. But again, only because of where it's placed. When you think about it, it can't be too hard, but it's still. No, I don't think I can put it lower than the Dodongo's Cavern. So I'm going to put the Fire Temple at a 7 out of 10. I think I feel good about that. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Let's move on to the next order of the day, the Water Temple. Before we can get to the Water Temple, we have to go to Sora's domain first. Let's see what's in this hole, though. Looking forward to this. I don't blame ya. I don't blame ya. Oh, can I? Oh yeah, I was like, wait, you can't do that. But I can do that because of power crouch stab. Oh no. I just did a glitch, kind of. It's a glitch that's allowed to do outside of in glitchless, actually, so it's not a glitch, but yeah. You're 55.5% complete. Oh wow. Pixel sees a 10 incoming. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, if you saw me stab with a sword and destroy rocks there, that was only because my sword had copied the damage of my damage properties of my hammer. I didn't do it sort of consciously, but that is what happened. Cheers. Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Wisdom. I'm going to enhance your magic power. Receive it now. No, you haven't gotten this fairy. I'm scaring you. Your magic power has been enhanced. Now you have twice as much magic power. Oh, the fairy. I'm not scaring you. The fairies are. Okay. Oh, I mean, I don't blame you for that either. They are a bit much. Winter knows where he's going next. When says it's a weird effect they added, it was deliberate, but the consequence of the product wasn't entirely intended. No, I don't know. It feels like something they forgot to patch out. Let's see, are there Gorons running around here? Yeah, we got Gorons. Let's go. I think there still might be one Goron stuck inside the temple. But maybe because I didn't get the I never went back for the compass. So uh-oh. I don't remember if there's a Goron there. And it says, can we get a counter of James' dumb questions on Eager streams? Oh, you should have seen him earlier. When we were talking about the Mario movie, he was like, what? There's a Mario movie? I didn't know there was a Mario movie. Oh, something like that. It's kind of like, But that was apparently a genuine question, and so you should answer it. Apparently. At least to James. Yeah. James says it was a genuine question. Alright, let's see. Source domain. You guys may remember last time we were here, this place was flowing. But it's frozen over now. And I don't see any Soras around. Can we see them frozen in the water, maybe? I don't remember. Nope. I mean, that would be a little bit morbid if you could, right? So, I was like, can you actually see them frozen in there? Oh, it doesn't appear that way. But yeah. The king is also frozen in some weird red ice, I guess. We can't even talk to him. I mean, of course, he's frozen. How long has he been frozen, I wonder? It's probably more than a week. So yeah, to move on here, we're trying to see like what happened to the source. The Lord Jabu Jabu is gone. He's not here. We can't go into his belly, sadly, as an adult. He seems to have left this whole basin. So yeah, but now we can go to that cave over there. They look like a Barbie, a 5-year-old girl used to create skills. It's a limitation of the game engine, okay. Anyway, yeah. I can see what you mean though. That's probably the main point. I can't see what you mean. Oh god. There we go. There's ice mechanics, so bear with me if I start raging. You've completed another heart container. Oh my god! We have over 10 hearts. That's insane. That is insane. Oh. Oh god. Oh god. Seriously, did that just happen? Thankfully we can get up here. Oh. See ya, suckers. Okay, so fun thing, Money. I watched Mentuk play through this this week, and it got me thinking. I was in a complete like loop about this. Loop. I don't even know what I'm saying. So this is a mini dungeon, right? This is what we see as a mini dungeon. But how do you define a dungeon? I thought, do you define a dungeon by having a map and a compass and a boss? Because technically this dungeon has everything, but I just can't honestly see it as a real dungeon. It's just too short. So I ended up thinking this is not something we should count in the sort of in the dungeon ratings, but we can probably talk about it in the game rating as a whole. Because this, compared to the things you do between dungeons in Skyward Sword, is so much better. Like doing a whole little extra dungeon instead of going back to the first dungeon like you do in Skyward Sword is honestly better. But it does have a dungeon map. It does have a dungeon compass. It does actually have a, albeit very easy, but it does have kind of a boss. It also has a dungeon item, so it's very like the well as well. I'm into. Creators always adore this area. The vibes are just so cool and chill. Get it? Yes, I get it. Alright. Is this the right way? Or is this out? Oh, this is out. This is just, yeah, there we go. We did look into that, what officially considered mini dungeons, not what is full dungeons. It's just arbitrary from the dev side. Yeah. I've always seen this as a mini dungeon. Always. I hear a spider. Itsy bitsy spider. Hello. I think we are two spiders away from the 40 mark. Dice is ending. If you fall over the edge, you can hear Link ice cream. Ice cream. Oh, okay. That was a bit of a stretch. Yeah, the door is there. Oh my god, Doc. I'm sure you have a better ice joke. Laying on ice somewhere. Okay. Louis says it can be argued that boss isn't actually a boss. It's a palette swap normal enemy. I think it has more HP, though I'm not completely sure. Louis says, didn't the last dungeon Scout, which we all agree is a full dungeon, I assume miss its boss and have it beat him? Oh, yeah, I did. But that's also because that's the case with some other final dungeons in other Zelda games. So I kind of allow it. But yeah, it's probably there are probably people who would argue that this is to be considered a dungeon. But I think it would suffer tremendously in the ratings.
Say after getting the iron boots? Well, this really puts a damper on my slip and slide adventure.
What? Oh. What? Not even sure I got one. Let's see. This is blue fire. It doesn't seem natural. Maybe you can use it for something? Maybe. It's a terminological hell to try and define. Yeah, it is. And I mean, I think I've talked with Peter about this a few times, that there are so many terms that we're missing in games. Like, there's so many things we're so poor at having, like, at determining and having terminology for, that, you know, it's.
Why did Link hate going into the ice cavern? Because every time he tried to move forward, he just kept sliding back into his problems.
Oh, okay. That one's a little better. That was a little better. Pretty says, does it have a map, compass, big key, and dungeon item? If not, it's not a dungeon. But okay, but then you can say, if it needs all those things, then none of the child dungeons in Ocarina of Time are dungeons. Because they don't have big keys. So yeah, you're kind of exemplifying the problem with the whole thing, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. He has one more. Okay. Let's hear it.
Why does Link never complain about the cold in the ice cavern? Because after falling on the same slippery floor for the 20th time, he's already too numb to feel anything.
That's true. It does seem like a very cold floor. It's not the kind of ice you fall through. This is the kind of solid ice that's never gonna melt. So, you know. We're gonna take a small detour before we move on to the to where the treasure hides. Is this? I think this is right. I think this is right, right? The big key can go. It has a map, a compass, and a dungeon item, and a boss. But yeah, we just argued that maybe the boss in here is not a boss because it's technically just a palette swap enemy. Yeah, it's an interesting thing here, right? But yeah, here's the compass. We got the map, now we get the compass.
Why does Link not like the enemies in the ice cavern? Because they give him the cold shoulder.
Especially the ice keys. The ice keys give him a big cold shoulder, that's for sure. Yeah, I like that one. No. You didn't have to say it like that, princess. Oh, wait. Oh, it's on the pillar. When he says ice keys can go get bent, I hated those the first time I met them, and I still do. Yeah, pretty much. I added the last part, but yeah, I think I am. Okay, I think that was no. Okay, we need one more spider. I think there's one more in here. And then we have 40. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. It's almost like a randomizer run, you know? Almost like a randomizer run. Mental really hates all keys. I mean, keys are, or bats are the worst enemies in the game. Like, but fun fact, in the source code, you can find a fully functional enemy that is a Star Fox R-Wing. Taken from Star Fox 64. It's not like in the game per se, but you can get it via specific ways. So yeah, that's a pretty fun fact. I didn't have to say it like that, but I did. I wanted to. Right? Oh my god. Just die already. Oh, there's the spider. I don't know if I can reach that. I should be able to. Come on. My god. Come on. And you too. Come on. You know you wanna. No, I hesitated. There you go. You stupid animal. Don't remember if you can do this. I think you can. Yeah, you can. Nice. This is why the ice cream not considered a dungeon, because they froze development before its completion. Yeah, maybe. It's a good theory. Game theory. Also good freezing fun. Blow, blow. Not sure this is right, but maybe we can salvage it. I think we can, maybe. There we go. When he says it's actually a bit weird, the freeze keys don't lose their cold flame. Fire keys lose their flames when they hit you. It's pretty cool. I think it's because it's so cold in here that they instantly gain the fire, the ice fire again. But yeah, technically they should fly into the blue flame, right? So I don't know. But then again, the blue flame is not the same as the fire, as the ice. Wait. No, wait. Anyway. Yeah, I just argued that. Now, Mentuk taught me another trick when he was here the other day. Let's see if I can replicate it. So you can put the block there. And then you can do this. Mentuk taught me a trick. Mentuk keeps teaching me new things I didn't know about this game. It's pretty crazy. Some things I can use, other things I'm like, okay, I probably know a better way to do that. But yeah. But there's at least two things in the whole section we're coming up on now that I've been able to use, right? So that's pretty impressive. Also, I do think, do we have one more flame? Yeah, we do. We have enough for the king. Oh, should we also get one for the shop? Probably should, right? Okay, I don't think it has more health. I think it's just a bigger, reskinned version of a Wolfus. 2 freaking jump attacks and it's down for the count. Mentuk is in the in a temple after Water Temple. He is in the Shadow Temple. So we are not going to, yeah, he's in the Shadow Temple. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a pal. Yeah, must be. You got the Iron Boot. So heavy you can run, so heavy you can float. Just got there. Okay, you have not really. Yeah, okay. So you're basically just in the beginning. Oh, Sheik. We meet again, Link. If you came here to meet the Saurus, you wasted your time. That's all there is. This is all there is. With one exception, the Saurus are now sealed under this thick ice sheet. I managed to rescue the Sora princess from under the ice, but since she left to head for the Water Temple, this ice is created by an evil curse. The monster in the Water Temple is the source of the curse. Unless you shut off the source, this ice will never melt. If you have courage enough to confront the danger and save the Saurus, I will teach you the melody that leads to the temple. Time passes. People move. Like a river's flow, it never ends. A childish mind will turn to noble ambition. Young love will become deep affection. The clear water's surface reflects growth. Now listen to the serenade of water to reflect upon yourself. Such a atmospheric song. Wolfers, when he says like most enemies, take more damage from behind. However, Wolfers at this entrance to the second meadow, especially takes 8 times the damage from behind as opposed to normal. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, yeah. But I do, yeah, when they do the whole spinning around and they turn your back on you, you just attack them and you can one-shot them, basically. Kind of crazy. Link, I'll see you again. But maybe it's because it's a wolf you meet as a kid. I don't know. Maybe that's why they up the damage. Alright, now it's time for the nightmare. Having to go into your freaking menu to put on and off the boots. Let's go get some ice for the shop. So we have ice for both the shop and the Sora King. Yeah, you do need to jump attack. Yeah, that's true. But that's also the easiest way to get there quick enough. So. It's funny that these keys are normal. Like they don't have the. That's pretty funny. Oh, anyway, yeah, we'll just keep that there. So, one thing that the 3DS version does really well is it makes the iron boots a item you can equip on the C buttons. And that's really, really nice. So you can just swap on and off with the click of a button. But I do think I like the charm of the equipment screen. That you sort of have different equipment for Link, but it just does get a little too cumbersome at the end. So Moon remembers a video that counted the number of times required to switch the boots. Oh. Yeah, we're just gonna go to the bottom of the lake here and get a little hot container. It's in the 30s, so I mean that doesn't really surprise me, but right, Link, let's get back up. Oh, that's not stressful at all. That's not stressful at all. All right, mister. I thought for a moment there I missed. I had like 0.5 seconds of panic. Oh, Rush, come back to life. Was it you who saved me? Don't be nervous. It looks like you have a hard time breathing underwater. As an expression of my gratitude, I want you to have this. I grant you this tunic. With this, you won't choke underwater. Got a Sora tunic. This diving suit is adult size, so it won't fit a kid. Wear it and you won't drown underwater. How convenient. See, Princess Ruta went to the water temple. Yeah. That's what I told you, apparently. Moon says, don't remember the symbol of the water tunnel entrance too well, but I clearly remember the thing you used to open it, confusing us for a good amount of time. Yeah, it did, didn't it? But then it does make sense when you have the right things equipped. Time for I'm blue, bada dee da bada. Yeah, I mean, he is blue. Let's see, anything? Get a red potion, I guess. Just to spend a bit of rupees. Better banger than I'm blue dabadi. Alright, we'll get a fairy inside the temple. So let's just go to a temple that a lot of people like here. Oh, we have about an hour, but I will go over time, of course, if we are not done with the dungeon. But an hour or so for Water Temple should be enough, I think. I have run this temple a lot of times. Probably, yeah, a few more times than what is healthy. So we're at the lake now, but this is not how it looked last time we were here. It's been completely drained, and also, you know, it froze over source domain. So I will say this boss inside the water temple is probably pretty powerful if it can both, if it is both the reason the source domain is frozen over and the reason the lake is drained. So it's doing a lot of environmental damage. So this is the simple Muni was talking about. And there's really only one item you can use underwater when you have the boots. But if you don't have the equipped, you can't see it. But it is, of course, the hook shot. Amazing. That's how I feel in my soul right now. Going into this temple. No. My trauma, this is how my trauma feels. Alright. But soak it in. Like with the forest temple. Soak in the vibe. Now this is a place of worship. But Jamie just comes out and says it. I hate this dungeon. That's a good Admiral. Yeah. Also, I remembered something I remembered that Mentu didn't. Well, he reminded me of is this. you can do this for these guys when they're on the ground. I kind of forgot about that. I always just take them head on. I don't know if it's easier, but it's a fun thing that you can do that. Let's see. It's not there. Is it over here? No. So it's here. I hope it's here. Water caustics effect. So impressive how they made such a simple 3D game. So expressive. What do you mean by the caustics? Or like acoustics? Oh. Oh, you. If I'm right, Link. You're Link, aren't you? It's me, your fiancé, Ruto, Princess of the Saurus. I never forgot the vows we made to each other 7 years ago. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 long years. But now is not the time to talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Saurus domain totally frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. But my father and the other Saurus have not yet. I want to save them all. I want to save Saurus domain. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who is going to be your wife. Link, you have to help me destroy the evil monster in the temple, okay? Inside the water temple, there are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me quickly. It's easier to make her voice when she's a little kid. But here, I kind of wanted, to reflect the that she's matured a bit. But yeah, it's kind of hard. Oh, it's the refraction of light through the water. It's the living effects on the walls. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a beautiful effect. Alex's best dungeon. Mental success. I was drained of energy after 4 hours in here. And Muni actually remembers Dalek's trip through here. Yeah, Dalek really, after getting through it, really, embraced the dungeon. It's really cool. Umber Rabbit told me he was there for 7 hours on stream. I feel better. Okay, man. I think you've been doing. I think you did quite well for your first time, and when you think about how you struggle with the controls a little bit sometimes, the voice has to be a bit bubbly, right? I mean, yeah, I should have probably done that. Yeah, but I didn't want to do that. Jamie says, I still remember 13, 14-year-old me struggling with this dungeon back in the day. It really made me frustrated, almost give up on it. Alright, so this is what she talked about. We can do this first. This is how you control the water level. This one puts the water level at the lowest possible point. We need to do something in here first. I think. No, wait, this is just a map or something, but that's fine. We are trying to collect those as well. This is the one Dalek honestly enjoyed the most. Yeah. Jim has a strange complex with water levels in Zelda games. Dungeon. Hates the Twilight Princess water dungeon as much as this one. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this. This is probably gonna fail, but it can save me some time if I can do it. Okay, that's not how you do it. Nope, that was too much. That was too much. Okay, we'll come back later. We'll come back for that later. Oh. Which one do you consider the water dungeon? In that game, the ancient cistern? The first one, I think I gave a 10. Wasn't that the first 10 out of 10 dungeon in the series? Haps oysters. Isn't there a better? Isn't that like chomp chomp, nom 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 oysters? I don't know. There should be a better word for it in English. Hey. Mooney says it's an amazing dungeon for sure, though I will say it almost drove me mad the first time through when Icarus and I played it back in the day. We were so young, and I have grown and come to understand it better. It has really grown on me as well. Yeah, as I've been saying on Mental Stream, this place traumatized me as a kid. It really made me dread it every time I had to go through it. Those are so scary when they come jumping like that. Snap, snap oysters. Yeah, that's a good one. A good one. Saint bowling. That's not a dungeon though. Oh, can I just... Oh, I need to take off the boots. Yeah. The first dungeon you hear all the noises in is this one. Let's take the chance and see if we can not get hit by Mr. I'm crazy, dabba-dee, dabba-da. It's also blue, dabba-dee, dabba-da. Yeah. There we go. Need this key too. Hey, okay. On with the boots again. There we go. So this dungeon is very much about key management and remembering to bring as many keys as you can. Not the bats, the actual object, a key, with you. Yeah, as many as you can have all the time. So it's all about remembering what keys can you get at what levels. And how, yeah, and what order should you do the delivery of raising and lowering of water in, you know. What do I do with all these keys? Yeah. Sell them to Beetle. I don't know. So I need to figure out with this is not yet, I think, but we can bomb this. Let's see what's in there. Oh, this is oh, I think there's a spider in here. By the way, and then Senlei keeps us all hanging. Oh my god. Why do I suck so much at this one today? I don't usually suck this hard at this with these enemies. I'm too early. I'm too late. There we go. Wow. Peter says, I felt so vindicated when in the remake for 3DS I saw that they changed the cutscene to a more clearly show the hidden room at the bottom of the central pillar. It was the one key that stumped me hard back in the same. We'll get to it in just a moment, but Mooney and I certainly also had our issues with that that key. Minter took that key pretty easily, actually. But let's see the cutscene. Let's actually see the cutscene. When we get there, let's notice it and see how bad is it on N64. Right, there we go. And bombs and no healing. Okay. Senna says, by the way, considering to buy Pragmata over Tomodachi Life if I can't get Tomodachi Life physical in a store on Thursday. Yeah, okay. I can understand that. They're about the same price. Good podcast episode, but God predates. I don't know. Maybe it's more nuanced than that. Hate is a strong word. Yeah. And Louis says this particular door is the only intended way to use an attack that clips through it. I think the intended way, since you get bombs inside that room, I have an inkling that bombs are the right way to do it, because that's how you've been activating things sort of from afar up until that point. So I think bombs. Mensu says, you didn't know there was a Mario movie? He was asking about it earlier. So many games. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I made the same mistake. You just see Mentu. I did the same thing. See, even Zelda veterans can do it. Okay. Okay, notice now, Peter. We're gonna look. How bad is it on N64? It switches pretty fast. Like, you have to be really observant to see that. You have to be really observant to see that. Holy crap. And I think it only shows it that one time, maybe. I'm actually unsure if it only shows it one time. Maybe it shows it more than once. But we'll have to see that next time, because we will have to switch a few times. So, but yeah, this room is what stumped a lot of us back in the day, because it's hidden underneath the thing. I think it's such a cool place to hide a key, though. Like, it's such a big eureka moment when you figure it out. You're like, what? There's a room underneath. It took me years to sort of ingrain into my brain that room was there. It's a bit obscure, but I think it's... We'll have to see how it looks in the 3DS cutscene. Because I do think Peter's right that it is more clear in that game. That something tells me at least that it is. Because I feel like I remember that part. Oh my god. I'm gonna die to these oysters. It is a frustrating room, but I think it's such a cool place to hide a key. Okay, the refraction thing isn't here. We have 2 keys. Is that enough? Nothing says we know, but we'll see. It's such an awkward camera angle. But it's quicker than walking on the ground, so... He's a very serious Link. Looking at us very seriously. Are you really putting me through this? I know I can breathe underwater, but really? Yeah. But it's also a dungeon where they mark the water level and sort of make a color so you can see which of the places changes the water level to the right one. Oh yeah, we are missing one down here. We need to go down. Hang on, at the door? Which door? I saw it after I fell down. Also, we should drink some milk. Oh my fucking god. Can we check the 3DS cutscene? Yeah. You tried the dungeon without the tunica? I considered doing it in my last speedrun to see if I saved substantial amount of time, but I didn't have the guts to do it. The pedestal the torch stands on. Oh, okay. But let's quickly see. Yeah, let's see if this guy actually does the right thing. I think he does. Okay, here it is. All right. Just check the browser has the right one. All right. So I muted it because the guy talking is a little... This is the 3DS version of the dungeon. Right, so he goes into the room, goes up. See, this one has a water level 2 red thing, and then now it comes. I'm just gonna slow it down to like 60. That's a bit too much, but we'll see. We'll see. So now it starts. Goes up. You can kind of see a little. Oh, yeah, okay. It literally zooms down to show you the room. I almost want to say it kind of ruins it. It kind of ruins the eureka moment. But maybe that's just a Zelda veteran speaking. That's probably a lot better for a lot of people, but oh my god. They mark the water level. Does it rain for hours then? Oh my god. Yeah, probably does. Anyway, yeah, interesting. It's very clearly shown. Maybe I just didn't have to. I didn't even have to slow it down like that. But yeah, we got this. We got it. We have 3 keys on us now. That should be
Does Link
all
have
we
wet
need.
dreams about this dungeon?
No, I think he has very, very bad dreams about this place. Yeah, it actually spoils the puzzle. I actually think I prefer the N64 version to that. Because you cannot miss it. It's like, if you miss it, it's because you looked away from your 3DS. Yeah, I still need to drink milk, don't I? Here comes one of my most hated enemies in the game. Ah. Ah. Here you go. Oh. Is this the same symbol that was on the torch? No, I don't think it was. Because that's the Gerudo symbol. Yeah, a lot of people actually think that the 3DS version has a wrong lighting and coloring scheme, but I think it looks better on a 3DS screen because it's so small, and because it has to pop a bit more. I think when you blow up the 3DS version to, like, when you play it on an emulator or blow it up to, or through a capture device and blow it up to full screen, I don't think it looks as good. It kind of needs the 3DS screen and the 3D effect to actually be nice, I think. But you are right. It has this one has the darker feel to it, this game, compared to the 3DS version. It's the same with Majora's Mask. Oh yeah. I was like, what item do I need? Should have showed me the speedrun way with the shield. Yeah, again, I'm not sure I can actually do it, Mental, but yeah. That's a good point. Okay, so now we have 2 keys and we're going through here. I'm trying to do the speedrun way of only lowering the water when I absolutely have to. Changing the water level when I absolutely have to. You didn't have 2 keys, no. You had 1 key. Oh, fuck. I was a little too gung-ho there. I don't think that hasn't happened in 20 years, I think. Oh my god. Oh, it's so much better to do it like this. Oh, just in time. All right. All right. Can we snipe these? I think we can snipe these. Oh, this one didn't even react. Oof, I almost fell off. The amount of times you have to do this. Wait, what? What the fuck? Okay, that was weird. Oh, okay. I mean, that's also a way to do it. What? There you go. Go to another 18-20 hour stream week. I see. Don't push yourself too hard, Mr. I know you want to be ahead so you can watch my playthrough. Alright. Ooh, rupees. Is there a fairy here? There's magic. Magic. Oh, one of my favorite rooms in the game. Look at this. We're in the middle of a dungeon, but now it looks like we're on a shallow lake. Ruins scattered. A lone dead tree. A lone rock. It's like a Zen garden, except something is off. And look at the reflection of the water. Oh. 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 Yeah, exactly, Winnie. This is a dungeon room. Well, what's up? Oh. Did you guys see that? Was that just me? Oh no, something is looking at us. Alright, time for the coolest mini-boss of the game, in my opinion. He might not be the most complex or like, but it's such a cool thing. Freaking fighting yourself. Dark Link, conquer yourself! Right. Let's see. I should bring out my... He's in defensive mode right now, so I should be able to just kick his ass. Yeah, he's in my... I got him in the palm of my hand. And that's the easiest way I know. And oh my god, the illusion. The illusion is gone. It was just a normal room, but there was an illusion. That was so cool. That's so cool. I love that. I love that moment when it just... Yeah, maybe it was a little anticlimactic. Because the other way of doing it is basically just button mashing until you feel like you get him, and it feels cool in my opinion, but for some people I think it might be a little like underwhelming. Again, think of all those cool effects they managed to squeeze out of the hardware in their first 3D engine. So impressive, yeah. You got the long shot. It's an upgraded hookshot. It extends twice as far. Twice as far? What? Nentuk says, I hate the next part when you get the dungeon item and in all your joy run back to the door you came from. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, because this is another thing a lot of people miss when they're playing through the game, either for the first or the second or the third time. You go into this room, you see a chest, and you're like, oh, okay, that's all there is to this room. You open it. But then you miss this Song of Time block. So if you just run back, then you miss a whole big thing, and that's, you know, that can be very bad. I think the developer should have locked the door behind the player here so that they couldn't make that mistake. I think it's cooler that they get stuck in this room and then they have to walk around and they're like, well, how do I get out? And then they see the block in the floor, because you don't really, if you just can go right back out, you're just gonna do it, you know. And I think that's a small mistake. on an otherwise very well polished dungeon. Well, but we'll see where I rate it.
Link, be careful. Don't get swallowed by the vortexes.
It's the worm/snake room, as I like to call it. Hey, another spider for the collection. All right, that's not. That's not what I wanted. You made this part quite dramatic. You did. You. I would say you almost stressed yourself out. But again, as well, I guess the dungeon also did it, right? But like those slides down are so crazy. Let's see. Let's take off the boots. Because this is really like, let me out. Hey, 15 streams and let's go. Oh, we need this. It almost ambushed me. Hey, a small key. And now we're back in the vortex room. This part of the temple must be some kind of recycling of water recycling. I'm not sure what that's called. It's also a bit sad there's nothing stopping you. So I'm never saying, didn't you see the stone or something like that. That's what I mean. That would be, in my opinion, too direct if Navi just did that. But that's why I'm like, you should just lock the player inside the room so they can explore the room on their own and figure out what to do. Because that's a more indirect way of designing it, without telling the player directly. By the way, look here. And I honestly, I've always enjoyed that kind of design when the game design itself speaks, for itself, so to speak. To tell the player what to do through game design instead of telling the player directly, showing or saying. It's again, it's a show, don't tell, but also a don't show it, imply it, don't show it, don't tell it. It's I don't know how to explain it. That's my best saying with it. I hope you understand it. I enjoy design when it's implied through the game design instead of told directly through text or shown with the camera. That's elegant. Very elegant indeed. We need 2 keys, and this is why I'm lowering the water again. There's 1 key I almost forgot, which I now remember. Can we? Is there a... Nope. Okay. Alright. So this is the water level for that key, and then we can just... Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a spider up here. You just feel like you can reach every freaking wall now with this freaking long shot. It is super long. Stuff. Okay, Mooney, you wanted to see this symbol. It looks like a tree, a dead tree maybe. Also, the torch isn't fully standing on the thing. Or a snake, a water snake or something, but a dead tree is sort of what I would say it looks like. I don't think I've seen it other places before, so... Jane says it's also why it's more of an example of what they could do. For example, when you were on your way back or on your way out of the room where Darklink was, that door could lock and Darklink would reappear. Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I don't think it means much either. I just think it's some kind of, yeah, some kind of place, not a placeholder, but just some kind of symbol they made. Is that where we are? Yeah. We all figured it out eventually. But it is an evil one. There are a few evil keys in this dungeon. Wait, I actually think there's a spider. No, wait, that's in Master move. Or is it? It's not here. Now we're going to go for the boss key. I think this is the way. I haven't gotten the compass, so that's not really helping me. Yeah, I think it's the right one. Yep, it is. Yep. Also, for the boss, I'm going to use another easy speedrun strat because I just want to show you guys how easily it can be done. You will, of course, see the intended way of doing it that way as well, but I do just want to show, like, because it's a trick I learned quite recently and a couple of years ago. So yeah, I've sort of been using that every time I can go through because it's such a cool, it feels so good. Oh yeah, I saw something else in Mintook's stream. I know I'm quoting it a lot, but it's like there's so many things where I'm like, can you really do it that easily when you think in a different way, you know? Kind of crazy. So can you? No, I can't do that. Okay. So it's the wrong place. Right. Okay. So in this place, this room, apparently let's just kill these first. Apparently you can stand. Well, I want those hearts. You can stand on this. Oh. Normally, okay, let me show you first what you need to do normally. Normally, you have a few bombable walls here. You have this one. I mean, this one's obvious, right? That one had a hole in it. But then there's also, not this one, but this wall. It looks a bit weird as well. So normally you have to push a block inside here so that it stands on the button down there. What I didn't consider was the following solution. And let's see if I can even do this. Like, what I didn't consider was this. You can literally just swim and go up there. It looks impossible, but that is how, like, you are within the hitbox of Link being able to grab it. That is speedrun wise so good. And I've never known that you can do that. I thought they had completely designed their way out of that one and bug tested and everything, but nope. You can apparently do that. So I was completely mind blown when I saw this on Mentuk's Ocarina of Time stream earlier this week. I was like, no, what, no, what did you broke the game, but it's so cool. You broke it in the perfect way. It's impossible. That's not true. Alright, so here we go. Ooh, a spider. What the hell do I need that block for? Yeah. And now you know. Oh shit. Oh shit, it's time for shades. And drinks. Cheers. And this will be the final key. Oh, we should have Pharaoh's winded. Should have Pharaoh's winded it here. And it says, I just want to say good night and give you the illusion of night. Thank you very much, and sleep well. Thanks for watching. Good night. It's actually night outside. It's not bright because actually I have a, as you can see, I have a big ass light blasting into my face. So, you know. This does give more of an illusion of night. Okay, so let's see here. We're going out again. And then... boom. Boom, 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 boom. Right, so now we're actually going... we need to raise the water, because if we don't raise the water, we won't raise the water dragon statue, or water snake statue. God damn it, okay. So you can block the first one. That's how... oh my god. So I think you gotta attack after that. You gotta... yeah. Gotta attack it. Let's not die, so if we can take type. Yeah, I always fail it. That's why I've started just not doing it. I'm just baiting it to come down, and then that's it. Yeah, once I played with the idea of can I somehow get up to the, top floor without raising the water, but to get to the boss, you really do need that dragon statue. Yeah, there's a ferry there. Oh. Another ferry. Hey. There you go. Can be bomb powered or something, but yeah. That's true. But I don't really play that way. Right. This time. As I said...
Link, look out! That isn't normal water over there.
We're going to try and do this the speedrun way because it's super cool. But the normal way takes a lot longer. Because you have to constantly take out the boss, and then anyway. I'll show you first how it's done, and then afterwards I'll show you how I would normally do it in a speedrun. Something is looking at us. This. It's... yeah. Some would call it a meatball. It's an amoeba. Let's see. Yeah, you weren't ready for more struggles. That's not what you do there. You kind of grab it and then you punch it. But let's show how this weapon actually really freaking makes this boss so easy. Boom, baby. And that's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, that's when I saw this method the first time, I was mind blown And then I was like, this makes so much sense. Normally you have to wait for it to go up, and there's multiple tentacles you need to dodge. And yeah. But this will probably be the last boss I have any tricks for up my sleeve. The rest of the bosses will be just done in the good old traditional way. Where's my heart? There it is. Pro tip? Yeah. Ooh, 12 hearts. Nice. Oh, that was a wild camera. Link. I would have expected no less from the man I chose to be my husband. Sora's domain and its people will eventually return to their original state. As a reward, I grant my eternal love to you. Well, that's what I want to say, but I don't think I can offer that now. I have to guard the water temple as a sage of water. And you're searching for the Princess Zelda? Huh, you can't hide anything from me. Princess Zelda, she's alive, I can sense it. So don't be discouraged. What is that supposed to mean? I can tell that nothing will stop you in your quest for justice and peace. You must take this medallion. Take it respectfully. Okay, I will. You receive the water medallion. Ruto awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Dalek is obsessed with this medallion and his blue pullet coin. Blue coin, pullet. I'm not sure what that is in English actually. I guess it's a kind of coin. If you see Sheik, please give him my thanks, okay? What? Why Sheik? You didn't think. Well, I guess you did think. God damn it. As the water rises, the evil is vanishing from the lake. Link, you did it. Blue chip? Yeah, I guess it's a chip. Yeah, that's true. The blue chip. Did Ruto want to thank me? I see. We have to return peace to Hyrule for her sake too, don't we? Look at that, Link. Together, you and Princess Ruto destroyed the evil monster. Once again, the lake is filled with pure water. All is as it was here. Dum 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 dum. Dum dum dum. Wait. The frick did he go? It's so good. Okay, bye, Sheik. If you wanted to take a dive, you didn't have to do it from the tree, you freaking ninja. Alright. Before the sun goes too high, I'm going to solve this puzzle here. Oh shit. I hope Mintuk was looking away. Don't look, Mintuk. You can't Unsee what you just saw if you saw anything. To those curious, this is what it said. When water fills the lake, shoot for the morning light. Morning light. That was kind of the thing there. Haven't I tried to do that before? Yeah, maybe. You got the fire arrow. Set it to C and your arrows will be powered up. Hit your target, it'll catch fire. Weren't you doing something? Oh, I know what she's doing here. Right, yeah. Let's look for someone who might know something about the other sages. Right. I have a better idea. Yeah, I think you have tried it. We tried it too a few times before it actually worked for us. The best way to do it is play Sun Song and... Anyway. When it says mechanics behind the fire is so cool, haunted us for a good amount of time. Yeah. Definitely. Right, I think we are going to raid the dungeon. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're going to raid the water temple. I've already been through the aspects today, so I'm just gonna quickly run through and I'm just gonna run through them as we go. So, the water temple, the most traumatic experience for children playing N64 in the 90s. I don't know. It has scarred each and every one of us. But now it's time for a critical look at the temple. Because was it just complicated because we were dumb kids? Was it just complicated the first time because it asks so much of you as a player? Was it just so complicated because we gave up too quick? All these things, you know? I think it's more nuanced than that. But let's go through the aspects and then we can talk about it as we go. The first aspect is placement in game progression, which is where in the game is the dungeon placed and how hard or easy is it compared to that. We are still part of the first 3 dungeons of the intro part, but it is kind of seen as the 3rd adult dungeon, but also the 6th dungeon. So we're pretty far in, and it does not disappoint in difficulty in any way, shape, or form. This dungeon challenges you, and I think it has a very, very good difficulty for where it's placed. It takes everything that you have learned up until that point, and it asks you to, put it to use. The central mechanic is the water level. You can adjust the water level to the lowest, the middle, the highest, and that will affect what rooms you can go into, how much of the dungeon you can access, and also it will affect what you can do on the bottom of like when you use the boots to go down and do stuff. I think that central mechanic, as frustrating as it is the first time and as complicated as it is to try and keep track of what rooms are at what levels, I think it is the reason I have this central mechanic aspect. The water temple is the primary reason I have chosen to rate that aspect in a dungeon, because this temple is a central mechanic. It is the best one of the best examples of a central mechanic I can think of in the whole series. And it has a central room where everything comes back to everything originates from. Sure, you don't always go back to the main room to change the water level and then these things, but it's pretty much close to that. But it's still so cool that every part of the dungeon is connected in some way to the central chamber, and it makes it feel, yeah. Anyway, that's really level design, but I still think this central room and the whole water level thing is masterfully done. It is, you know, I can't give it higher marks for a central mechanic because it touches everything in the dungeon, the water level. It is so important for the dungeon that the dungeon would fall apart basically without that central mechanic. It asks you for, and now I'm gonna say the word you've been longing for, Dalek. It requires the player to have spatial awareness of where when you have the water level, it needs to you need to know what does that unlock in the whole spatial space of the dungeon, you know. So it really requires you to have a lot of that. It really requires you to think, okay, I was there at this point. I need to remember what water level did I need there, and those things. And if it is very easy to lose track. It's very easy to lose track. But once you master the water level, it's you kind of know. You know, Dai says, I don't feel like you miss important stuff if you figure out. Yeah, that's true. The puzzle complexity. This is probably the most puzzle heavy dungeon we have found so far. I would say raising the water level to get down to a key is a puzzle. Figuring out how to get in through the vortex room when you have so little time to get through. Pushing blocks in the right ways and figuring out how to get around, bombing walls to get into moving the block, figuring out how to get through different doors, figuring out how to kill the mini boss. Yeah, it's a one big puzzle box in the best way possible, I think. So it also for me actually gets really high marks on the puzzle complexity. There might be harder puzzles later on or in other games and so on and so forth, but I think it's also the fact that the whole dungeon itself, again going back to the central mechanic, the water level is a puzzle in and of itself. You need to figure out what level do I need to be on to get to this room. Does the water level do anything to this room? And how do I even get to the boss? Oh, the water level again, you know. So yeah. Execution requirement also kind of high in some aspects, especially with the mini boss. It asks a lot of you. There's a lot of fidgeting around with the iron boots. That can be kind of hard, and if you're not used to it, it's difficult to figure out how do they control. Also, you need to constantly go in and out of menus. So I think maybe that execution requirement comes up a little, like it requires a lot more of you as a player because of that. Like it kind of becomes a little too annoying at times. So I won't give it a high, like full mark on the execution requirement because of that. I think it actually gets too involved in some ways. That's obviously why they change how the iron boots work in a later version of the game, but this is the N64 version of the dungeon that we're rating. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a mark down for that, for constantly having to go into your menu to put on and off boots. But other than that, I think it's at a really good level of what it asks of you, and also how it asks of you to use the hook shot. You really learn how to use the hook shot and the long shot in this dungeon, which is really cool. And if you know how to, deal with certain enemies, it makes the dungeon a lot easier. If you don't take it seriously with the tektites and stuff, you will have a hell of a bad time. The pacing, it's a long dungeon. I made it look quick because I know what I'm doing, and I know sort of what I need to do before I change the water level. If you forget a key, you have to go through the whole thing again. You have to change the water level again, and you can, really extend the dungeon. There's of course the whole room with after the dungeon item where if you don't figure out that there's a rock behind that chest, you will be stuck for hours. It's the same if you don't see the opening under the platform when you lower change the water level to the middle one inside the tower. You're gonna have a hard time because you're gonna run around in the same rooms, and you feel like you don't know what you're doing. You don't feel like you're not getting any further. But once you get those, once you figure out that those are there, once you remember, once you get it ingrained, it actually makes the dungeon flow a lot better when you know those keys are there. So a second playthrough already will feel a lot better than a first one, even unless you forget, like me, I forgot about those hard things the second time I did it, but that was also like a little bit longer after the first time. But I think the pacing is actually pretty good. I think it is almost too long, but for me, I think it has a good length. It almost outstays its welcome, and if you struggle with any of those two things I just mentioned, it will outstay its welcome. But I still think, from a pacing point of view, it's just so great. It requires you to, figure out the water level and get as many keys as you can in the whole dungeon before you can go on to the mini boss and so you get the item pretty late in this dungeon. And then after that, it's like, but you're not done. You're not done. Now we have to go deeper into the temple and get the boss key so that you can finally confront the final boss. So when you come out of this place, you feel like you've had a whole experience. And I think that's what the pacing does for this. It makes you really feel like this was a dungeon. this was a goddamn dungeon, The dungeon theme, it's a water temple. It is the Sora's holy, sacred temple of water where it's a place of worship. Could you maybe even consider that Jabu Jabu has some kind of connection to it? I think the theme is just really, really cool. It feels like a place of worship, and again, the central chamber being there with the tower, it makes it feel like a real place. It makes it feel like a real place. Even the entrance of the dungeon underneath the island in the middle of the lake, you can kind of see the shape, the tower going up to the shape just under. Like it feels so connected in the world. And that's why I give it a really, really high score on the dungeon theme, as well as it just the look of it. It feels like almost feels like a Japanese temple, but put underwater, with the way the rooms are made. And it feels like a Shinto temple in many, many ways. But then you have this whole water dragon theme. So, yeah. And also, actually, the boss room itself is also, I feel, very cool. It feels very sacred. And then the boss just comes and, yeah. You can also go to Lake Hyde pretty early, but the temple hides just below. So you can see it as a kid and be like, oh my, that's the same with the forest temple. What is this location, And that's also super cool. It really delivers on that mystery. What is this? And then you figure out what it is, and you're like, oh shit, I never should have opened Pandora's box. What did I do? Why I can never go back to my innocence. Now I know the horrors that hide in the water temple. Music and vibe, perfect. Like it has that creepy feel, but it also feels again like it feels a bit quiet down there. It's like a sacred place of meditation, of worship. And then Ganondorf has tainted it with Tektites and other disgusting creatures. But the music is just it's such a vibe. It's you can kind of like when I go into Water Temple and I hear the chimes kind of or whatever it is in the beginning. The chimes that go off, it makes me think of water instantly. And then you have the creepy song or flute, whatever. Like it's really, really strong. It's really, really strong. So yeah. Mooney says, actually, you can see the 3 first dungeons as a child. Shadow and Regard is a bit unique, but Forest, Fire, Water can be argued to be redirected. You can see them all. You can see the entrance to all those temples. But I mean, you can actually also with, Anyway, interesting. But I won't say any more on other dungeons. I'm gonna stay on topic. The dungeon item. The first time ever I got the the long shot, I was so disappointed. I was like, "What? It's not a new item. It's just the hook shot, but longer." Blah, blah. But then again, it's the hook shot, but longer. I mean, how cool is that? It's a cool item. It's a great item, and it really makes you appreciate how long that chain is when you figure out how many things you cannot do with the short hook shot. It's not the most interesting because it's just an upgrade for an existing item, but it has such a big impact that I think it goes a little above average. Also because it upgrades one of the best items ever made in the game, right? So yeah, it scores pretty high there as well, but not perfect marks, I would say, because it's an upgrade to a good item, and it's an important upgrade, but it feels a bit boring. It could have been more interesting to get something else, right? But what else would they put in the game as well? Who knows, right? We'll see, I guess. The boss, you saw it from a more easy point of view. When you think about what the boss can do, it can sort of make tentacles out of the weird water that isn't real water and sort of make them grab you and damage you, and it can be really annoying to get it out of the gooey water when it makes the tentacle arm and stuff. But and it's a little bit iffy with like if you pick it out too close to the edge, it will fall down the water, or if you stab it too quick, it'll fall down again. And so it can be a bit annoying to fight this boss, but I do think the concept of it is pretty cool, and I think the boss room itself and so on. So it's an average Zelda boss. It's not the best by any means, but it's a cool concept, and it's a bit fear-inducing with the abyss. Like, yeah, maybe. So it's kind of it gives you the creep still, and it's a freaking little meatball and MOBA thing. The Abyss, the movie. Have I seen that? No, I don't think I have. Maybe I have. I don't remember. It's very alien-like in its design, right? Right. So overall, as you can hear, I have rated this dungeon pretty highly on all aspects. Placement, the game progression, perfect marks. Central mechanic, perfect marks. Puzzle complexity, almost perfect marks. Execution requirement, it's the same. Pacing, I like that very much. Level design. Did I even talk about level design? I think I did, right? How it's connected and how all the level design is also amazing. Dungeon theme, music and vibe. I like the dungeon item, the bosses sort of mid. my gut feeling, and I have no doubt about this, my gut feeling, and I have never in my life thought I would do this to this temple. When I played this dungeon with Muni in 98 or whenever the frick we did in 99, whatever, I thought this was the worst thing I'd ever experienced in a video game. But I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because that is a fucking Zelda dungeon. That is a fucking Zelda dungeon in 3D. That's how you do it. I want more water temples. I want more stuff like that. I want them to challenge me in the next Zelda game. Give me hard dungeons again. I don't care if you make it an optional dungeon. I want a friggin' water temple in the next Zelda game. Because that is how you do it. That is how you do it. It's frustrating. It's not perfect. It has so many things that you could improve, which they also did in the 3DS version. But when you think about it from a game design perspective, when you think about it as level design, game design, it's a master class in dungeon design. Like it's how I wish most dungeons were in a Zelda game when it comes down to it. But I'm also a Zelda maniac, so of course I want all dungeons to be hard and to be giant puzzle boxes that you can barely keep in your brain. But Water Temple, my God, what a great temple. Anyway, that was that. I did want to end the stream by getting Epona, but I think we're going to do a little bit of we're gonna start next stream by doing a bit of side questing. So we're gonna get Epona, and then we're gonna go back to the past to be young Link again and do some stuff, and then we will move on with the next dungeon, which will be for Mentuk's sake, I'm going to follow his order. So Shadow Temple. Also because we're saving something else for last. Anyway, I'm not gonna say more. Muni, thank you so much for the gifted subs. You hit some people there that we know. Chicken got one, Pytte got one, Mr. Anderson got one, Dalek got one, and Excella got one. Thank you so much, Muni, for that. We are currently, let's go over here, by the way. We are currently, where are we? We're on the 4th game in the Zelda Timeline series. It is now April. We have played for 1.5 months. So we're 4 games in. I've completed 2.5. Wait, what does the percentage say, Moni, with the dungeon completion now? I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna bring up this. Let's see, where are we? So Ocarina of Time is going to make the timeline split, and that's where we're going to choose what timelines we're gonna do. My plan is to go straight from Ocarina of Time down to the child timeline, because that is what I think makes most sense thematically, to go through the games that sort of go directly from where, anyway. But yeah. I'm not going to say more than that, but there's going to be the child timeline, and then it's going to be adult timeline, then it's going to be Fallen Hero, and at the end, Wild Era. So the Wild Era is far off, but yeah. We have some beefy games coming up, but after those beefy games, it's going to be some kind of shorter games, and also the 2D games will be both long and short, depending. But I might turn up the speed a little bit after Ocarina. I just wanted to make sure that we enjoyed this classic to its full fully, because I could complete this in one stream, but I choose not to. So that's not where we're going here. 66.6, so almost 70%. So my calculations were. Thank you for that. You're welcome. It's also a tiny bit for your sake, so that you get to play through the game before I do. I don't know if you will be able to completely, but else you can always watch the VOD, Mensu, if I happen to overtake you in next weekend. But we'll see. But after that, as I said, it's gonna be Majora's Mask, which is not the longest game, so I'm probably gonna do that game in a weekend, because it's such a vibe, and we just want to stay in the Majora's Mask vibe for just marinate ourselves in that vibe for a weekend, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. But I haven't completely planned how things are gonna go. Also, if things happen to slow down, then that's what happens. Also, I need to make sure we also do sub goal streams, because now we are at sub goal. We completed the sub goal, which means, oh my god, we have 2 sub goal stream icons up here. Oh no. So maybe I'll do some more Euro Truck. I think that went pretty well last time, but also I need to figure out something else as well. But that's not going to be anything I'll do. I think maybe I'll do one next weekend if time allows, but we'll see. We'll see. I might have to change things around, but I haven't completely decided yet. So sub goal streams galore, and I'll be back next weekend with more streaming. My plan is Friday evening with more Ocarina of Time. We're gonna do some side questing before we move on to the next temple. Oh yeah, I need to fix that. I keep forgetting to fix that hype train. I need it to not go off at level 2. I think, can I just... Anyway, I'll figure that out. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back next weekend. Be sure to check out my Discord to check the schedule. I'll put it up on Thursday, as always. I'll see you next weekend. Until then, I hope you stay safe. I hope you fly safe. And remember, don't fly too close to the sun. Icarus out.